Here we go. What is a key? Well, very, very simply put, a key is and we're going to create these grand sweeping chords, kind of reminiscent of Melissa by the Allman Brothers. All those chords, the first finger's on the G string, that's incredible. I'm going to play it again. All right, welcome back to another episode of Guitar Fundamentals. It is the eve of Thanksgiving 2020, and so we're going to make this really quick because I have a lot of food to cook. And so besides that, let's get down right to it. We're going to be doing a key study in the key of A. We're going to learn what a key is, what the key of A looks like, and especially how to make the key of A shine really well on the guitar and if you have an acoustic guitar, get this really open acoustic sound to any song you want to play in the key of A. Here we go. What is a key? Well, very, very simply put, a key is a major scale. The end. That is it. And what do I mean by that? Well, I want you to understand something. Keys come from major scales, and the term major scale really means something that you really want to think about. Major in this case doesn't necessarily mean happy. You know, we all hear that. Hey, I've said on my channel, but when you think about the terminology that everybody used back then to name things, we didn't have all these big words, okay? And the term major meant something different. If I said to you, hey, there's a major car accident right here, or you and I have a major test tomorrow, all of a sudden that word becomes big or important. And that's the meaning of the major scale. It's a big, important scale. And from that scale, we get a lot of information, especially about keys. So today we're going to look at the key of A, which is also known as the A major scale. Here are the notes coming up on the screen, and they are in order A, B, C sharp, D, E, F sharp, and G sharp. These are the 7 notes, also known as do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Now, how you construct a major scale, we're going to kind of skip really, really quickly over, but it is that root, whole, 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 half, root, whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half formula that you hear so much about, where you start on a note, take a whole step, take a whole step, half step. That's what happens if you started on an A. And I also want to say that right here is a video that I made several months ago about key studies as well. There's a free chart that goes with it, and it's really cool. So check that out. If this piques your interest, that one that I just pointed to will as well. All right, so we have our notes in the key of A. Now, what can we do with these notes? Well, that is the major scale in A, which is the key of A. And so those notes can actually produce chords. When you're thinking about a key, it's not about the notes necessarily of the scale, it's about what chords are we hearing. Every single one of those notes in the key of A can produce a chord. And so when you look at that A, the quick and dirty formula to finding the notes that go with the A note is you start on the A, and then you jump over the B and land on the C sharp, and then you jump over the D and land on the E. And that A and that C sharp and E form the first chord known as A major. So A major is the first chord in the key of A. Let's look at that B. If you're on the B, you skip over or jump over the C sharp, land on the D. And then you jump over the E and land on the F sharp. And if you play a B, D, and F sharp together, you get a B minor chord. So the second chord in the key of A is B minor, and you can do this for every single chord. But don't fret, I've done it for you. Here they all are. A major is the first chord, B minor is the second chord, C sharp minor is the third chord, D major is the fourth chord, E major is the fifth chord, F sharp minor is the sixth chord, and G sharp diminished is the seventh chord. And that's what happens when you start on one of those notes and you jump. That's how they get their chord names. And so if you look at these chords here, any chord what I want to say is you can play any of those chords in any order as long as you're within the key of A. If you look, if I play a B minor, and then an A, and an E, all right, that's in the key of A. It is. There's no other key that I believe that has those 3 chords in it, but I started on the B minor. It's still in the key of A. It still comes from the chords in the key of A, but I started on the B minor, known as the 2. This is where we pause for 1 second. If this piqued your interest, this is where modes come from. Quite simple. If you're interested in learning about that, check out this video linked here. You will 100% understand what modes are. It is that simple, by the way. You have a key, you have chords, you can play any chords you want, starting on any which one. You're still in the key of A, but I played coming off the B minor, all right? And so that's what a mode is. Let's keep going. So I can play these chords in any order and sound good. A, E, minor, D, A, C sharp minor, F sharp minor. They all go together, all right? And so how do we make this sound super grand on the acoustic? By the way, that was it. That was the key study in the key of A. I know I'm talking fast, but please let me know if you have any questions in the comments below. I'll answer them for you. But that's how quickly you can do it. But now I'm going to talk about the second part of the lesson. How do we make it sound grand and acoustic-like? Well, we're going to do it in a very cool way. We're going to play the guitar where we can play all these chords, but let the open E string ring, and the open A string ring, and the open high E string ring if you need to. And we're going to create these grand sweeping chords, kind of reminiscent of Melissa by the Allman Brothers. And so that's in a different key, but they're doing the same thing. So the first chord in the key of A is A. Now, there it is right there. That's how you're going to play your A chord, okay? You can see that the open E, the open A, and the open E can ring. The E is in the A major chord, and so is the A. And so you can strum from here and get a really full sounding A chord. The second chord is a B minor chord. Now, the B minor chord looks like this. All right, and so it's really hard to play for some people. Some people don't like it. Some people might play the modified version. But we want that open E string to ring, and believe it or not, you can take that 2, 3, 4 and pick up your ring finger, have a delicious B minor chord. Middle finger will be on the 3rd fret of the B, ring finger will be on the 4th fret of the G. Here is a B minor chord that you can use, and you want to strum from the A string. Now you might be like, ooh, that doesn't sound too good, but listen in context. You can hear that do, do, there, so you can use that for a B minor. I'll have a chart for this one too. If you want to support StichMethod and you're a visual learner, grab it so you can stare at it, and then you can turn any song in the key of A into a grand acoustic performance. Let's keep going. C sharp minor. A lot of people play a C sharp minor like this. We're not going to do it. We're going to take our ring finger, put it on the 2nd fret of the B string, 1st finger on the 1st fret of the G, middle finger on the second fret of the D, and give it a strum from either the A or the E string. So check this out. A, E minor, C sharp minor. Now for the D chord, instead of playing a D like this, which you can, it's a full sounding chord, but we're going to try and keep those strings ringing. Middle finger, 3rd fret of the B, index finger, 2nd fret of the G, ring finger, 4th fret of the D. And you have 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, for the 5 chord, which is an E major, you're gonna love this. You take this guy up 2 frets, 5th fret, 4th fret, 6th fret. All right, so you have your 1 chord, your 2 chord, your 3, your 4, and your 5. Your 6th chord is an F sharp minor. Hope I'm not going too fast. You can always slow this down with a gear icon or rewind. I believe in you. The 6th chord is an F sharp minor chord. The F sharp is right here, the 7th fret of the B string. Put your ring finger on it. Then put your index finger on the 6th fret of the G, and then put your middle finger on the 7th fret of the D. Let's make sure I said that properly. 7th fret B, 6th fret G, and 7th fret D. And you can give big strum. Now the 7th chord, the G sharp diminished. That's the real chord. In the other video I mentioned at the start of this video, I also say you can play an E7 in place of this, but we're gonna go right for the G sharp diminished, which is very similar to the E7. And G sharp is the 9th fret of the B. You're gonna put your pinky there. Index finger is gonna go on the 7th fret of the G, and ring finger will go on the 7th fret of the D. Let them all ring. Check this out. Do, re, mi, fa, so, la, ti. Oh, put the wrong finger down. It's okay. I'm a professional. And then you can go back home to here, to A, or you can go from this to that shape we did for the D and the E, middle finger on the 10th fret, there was the resolve of the B string, 9th fret of the G, and 11th fret of the D. And so you can play all these chords, and if you want to go backwards, you have 1, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And you want to try it. Now, a quick word of advice as I was coming down here, it was really interesting to me that my first finger, if you look, like just some quick little tips. From this guy, my first finger can stay on the G string and move, and I can kind of plant or move around like this. And actually I want to come down like this, pinky and ring finger, because, well, let's see, we can go here. Yep, the first finger actually moves down 1 fret. You got these guys here, the 6. It's really interesting. The first finger, I'm just noticing this right now. First finger doesn't even move. All those chords, the first finger's on the G string. That's incredible. I'm gonna play it again. All right, now you gotta get down to C sharp minor. Oh my God, it hasn't moved yet. That's awesome. It has to move on the B. Back to the A. So if you got a good grasp of these chords, you can play. With that first finger, just really grabbing everything. I planned this lesson out and I just noticed it right there. You can keep your first finger on that G string and get all those chords. Anyway, I'll stop talking. No, I won't. I lied. Number 1, if you know any songs that are in the key of A and have these chords in it, instead of playing A and B minor and F sharp minor and E, try playing A and B minor and F sharp minor and E like this, and letting the guitar ring. Your own acoustic interpretation. I will say, if you want to practice this stuff with me, where I write different chord progressions in the key of A, that will be on my Patreon tier for Guitar Fundamentals. If you go check it out, I hear very good things about it. That's all I'll say. Those videos will probably come out the day after Thanksgiving on 2020, because I have so much food to cook right now. So thank you so much for being here. Share and subscribe if you want to, and I'll see you again on another episode of Stitch Method. Bye-bye.